Hello everybody, it is Corey from Gemini Acoustic and the Gemini Guitar channel. So today we're back for some folkish type guitar, I guess you might say. It reminds me of later Dead Can Dance on one of their later albums a little bit. And it is utilising the Phrygian scale and the Phrygian dominant scale, which I'll explain as we get to those intervals. So what we're going to be doing is, as far as the right hand or the left hand, or the hand that does the picking, depending on which hand you use, left or right-handed. So we're going to be using a hybrid picking technique whereby we use the pick on the 3rd string and the 4th string, and then everything on the 2nd and the 1st string we're going to be utilizing the middle and the 3rd finger. So this is made into a good example to begin with, because what we do is we pick the 9th fret on string 3 along with the open 2nd and 1st strings. So what you've got to listen out for is the evenness of the sounds. You don't want one string to ring out much more than the other. You want it to be a nice evenly balanced sound. Now when we do the next part of it, we're going to be utilizing the minor 2nd interval, which is what pretty much makes the Phrygian scale what it is. Basically, the Phrygian scale or mode is the natural minor scale with a minor 2nd as opposed to a major 2nd. Apart from that, everything's identical to the natural minor scale. So we've got the E root note that we started with. And then we're going to pluck that again, hammer to the 10th fret, which is the F note, and that's the minor 2nd interval, which is essentially the note that gives it its distinctive sound. So we're hammering to the 10th from the 9th, and we're pulling back to the 9th. And what you want to try to do is keep the 2nd and 1st string ringing out as much as possible. You want to shift then into the 7th position, and we're going to pluck all 3 strings, and then we're going to hammer to the 9th fret from there. Back to where the 1st finger was at 7th fret, we're going to pluck those 3 strings and then slide to the 5th fret. We're going to pluck the 7th fret when we put our 3rd finger down and pull to the 5th fret. So the first time was shifting, the next time is just to continue the flow. Now, the rhythm in the 2nd bar starts off the same, and this time we're obviously on different notes, so we're going to be at fret 4 on the 3rd string, so we're going to pluck the 3 strings, pluck them again, hammer to 5th and 4th on the 3rd string, shift to the 2nd position, and then hammer to the 4th fret after plucking the 3 strings. Second half of the bar, we're going to be plucking the 3 strings again, then pulling to the open string. And we've got the minor 2nd interval on the last beat. So that's the F note at fret 3. So this is the first time we play the 4th string with the 2nd and 1st string together. And what you want to do there is use the middle finger. And I didn't quite get that. And I didn't quite get it again. 3rd time lucky. Yep. And what I'm doing is, it's a little bit difficult, but it's really good for your left hand or your fretting hand technique, because the middle and the 4th finger tend to struggle a bit, particularly for the beginner guitarist. So doing the hammer on there is a really good strengthener. So remember, we're plucking the 4th, the 2nd and the 1st string, hammering down then to the 5th fret. Bar 2. Pretty good test of accuracy too. The 4th finger or pinky finger does, well, it's basically a smaller finger. So it is a little bit harder to nail those if you're not used to doing it. So it's really good for the fretting hand technique. So in the third bar, continuing on with using the fourth with the second and first strings, we're going to be in the second position here. And what we're going to do is utilize the classic Phrygian sequence, as I like to say. Now what that means is we're going to use the root, the minor second, and then we're going to use it's the minor seventh, which is the D note. So if you played it melodically without the second and the first string, and then in the second half of the bar, it's actually, so it's... Now, with the second and the first string, so I'm using the root, the minor second, back to root, minor seventh. In the second half, I'm using the root note and the minor second. But using those three notes and even the over at the 5th fret there, that's the minor third, the G note. That's really what defines the Phrygian mode. And when it's on one string, it's great for that sort of stuff, the legato sorts of playing. Now, this is where we get to the Phrygian dominant interval, and what the Phrygian dominant is, it's everything the Phrygian is, except instead of the minor third, it's actually a major third instead. So all that means is that the G note gets raised a half step. So if you were to play the first three notes in the Phrygian, the E Phrygian dominant scale, you get E, F, and G sharp. So it's got an even more Eastern characteristic about it. A little bit like a snake charmer type of sound, I guess. So we're going to be using the 4th finger for that. That's fret 6 on the 4th string. And here what we're going to do is we're going to be basically plucking most of the time. And then there's going to be a pull off and a hammer on from the 2nd to the open on the 4th string, and then 2nd to the 3rd. So we get... And again... Now what I did to finish with was I used a repeating idea, which is basically the same as the beginning of fret 3. So we get... Actually, it's the same as bar 3. I didn't notice that before, but it actually is the same as bar 3. And then what I'm finishing on is plucking the 4th, 2nd, and 1st string, low 6, and then we're going up to the 12th fret, and we're going to play... Actually, just move the guitar so we can see that. We're going to do the natural harmonics on the B and the E string. And to do that, you want to just position the finger so it's over the fret itself, which is the metal part, just to the right of the dots. And what you don't want to do is keep your finger down. You just want to lightly rest a bit of skin onto the strings, and then as you pluck it, you take the finger off. But you'll get a much better result when it's actually over the fret. Still works in the middle. Not as well though. Can take a bit of practice, the natural harmonic. Okay, so thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the transcription, link below. That's over at the website, geminiguitar.com.au, and I will see you at the next acoustic lesson sometime soon. Until then, bye for now.